Oh, yes. I didn't get any phone calls. My sons didn't call me. Marilyn didn't call me. I don't have any attorneys. The whole thought was, well, we'll just run him out of money, yes, and then we won't give him any rental assistance, and he's going to end up back in the homeless shelter because we refuse to enforce the laws of the United States. Now, I spent some time last night with some documents that I had looked at, and then some documents that I hadn't. Yes. And I found that this whole idea of the federal aid for state governments, you know, those governments where the National Guards don't defend the Constitution, and you decided it was legal to issue a protection order where there's forgeries. Yes. Whenever there's an insurrection in any state against its government, as in every National Guard of the United States, exactly how do you think you have that job? I know, you thought that once you enlisted in the National Guard they needed you, but it looks to me like you have it better than I do, and when that happens, as a citizen, I start thinking of ways right now. It could be the National Guards really don't think that they have to enforce the civil rights of American citizens. Now, there's an insurrection against the enforcement of the requirements of the laws of the United States and against the government of the United States, as if we could have, $50 trillion worth of debt out there, and the nations of the world are going to continue to support us because we don't support our laws. The president may, upon request of its legislature, yes, state governments, yes, or its governor. See, it's one or the other, and I emailed those state legislatures in Washington State, yes, could have been 1,000 times, and as elected oaths of office, you didn't want to call the president of the United States. Now, I know the governor decided to appoint to a Superior Court position the county commissioner that issues protection orders that happen to not have the signature of the petitioner. Yes. He appointed a Superior Court judge, Brent Baston, and I said, well, it's actually against the law and the Constitution of every state of the United States, as if you're going to continue to obstruct me, and I'm not going to sue the state legislature for not informing the president of an insurrection in Clallam County. Now, I did think I could sue the state legislature for violating their sworn oath. Yes. And then there was that $25 billion lawsuit right now. Now, I'm thinking that it was, well, obviously the governor, yes, is completely ignorant of the requirements of the laws of the state of Washington. And then I told you about the false arrests and obstructing me from filing complaints. Yes, criminal complaints against law enforcement for arresting me for crimes I didn't commit. Yes, and for some dumb fucking reason, you think I won't sue this fucking state legislature this fucking morning. But I will. Now, these states that receive federal aid, if the legislature is or is not convened, I mean, it's Thanksgiving week. Are you working there in Olympia? Are you working in Olympia? Now, call into federal service such of the militia of the other states and the number requested, or the use such of the armed forces as he considers necessary to suppress the insurrection. Yes. Now, I know this federal aid that you say, well, we get federal dollars, but exactly who's financing the United States government? I mean, when you think about the oh, all that debt. We're a AA plus nation in every state of the United States. You think that you should be getting federal aid without realizing the need to pay down the debt, or maybe not have any. I mean, if we cut out $1 trillion, yes, every year, what would that do to your state programs right now? Now, I know you're a state employee and you say, well, we have to have those federal fucking dollars, or we have to have the dollars.